What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Also, share this out as well. We're a few days away from our first preseason game. Cannot wait for that. We have previews for the preseason games and, of course, the regular season games. I have the first 3 preseason games lined up in terms of podcast episodes. Remember last year when we did all those interviews with writers from opposing teams, that's going to be lined up the same again. Already have those scheduled on the books and stuff like that. With that being said, a lot more other content coming for you guys. Another Roster Bubble Series video. In these videos, I take a player that's on the cusp of being cut. I talk about their background, competition, ways they could win a spot on the roster, ways they can lose a spot on the roster, and then a prediction at the end. These usually take about 5 to 10 minutes long, depending on the player. Alex Cook, undrafted free agent out of Washington. He is a safety. He is our profile today, and he's an interesting player, just like some of the other guys that we have done so far. He's number 23. He's 24 years old. 6'1", 196 pounds. With that being said, he was a 5-year player at Washington, part of the Pac-12. Started out as a wide receiver, converted to DB/safety in 2019. But I'm going to go over the stats real quickly. He played in 1 game as a wide receiver his freshman year. His sophomore year had 3 tackles in 3 games. His junior year, he had 2 junior years because of the COVID season, so he took advantage of that. But his junior year, his first junior year in 2020, he had 8 tackles in 3 games, so still not a lot of playing time. And then the last 2 years down the stretch, he had more playing time, 24 games, and a total of 2 years. But before that, just 7 games in 3 years. But 2021 with Washington, 11 games, 46 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, an interception that was returned for 36 yards, and a pass deflection. Also as well, in 2022, 13 games, total of 82 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, and a pass deflection. With that being said, he's a great box run defender. He's got special teams versatility. He struggles in man coverage, though. He's not a great pass defender. Not a lot of plays made on the ball. So he's got 2 pass deflections in 5 years at college. Though you have to, kind of see, he played wide receiver the first year, but still, 2 pass deflections in 4 years, that's not great if you want a ball hawk. And he's not necessarily a fundamentally sound tackler. It's more of drag down or big hits. So his tackling technique will need to be worked on. And obviously we'll see throughout training camp, throughout the joint practices, and throughout the preseason games whether that gets better or not. But he's an interesting player. Let's go into the competition real quick. Bobby McCain, Javarius Owens, and Nick McLeod. Now, Jason Pinnock obviously is one of the guys that he's competing with too, but I feel Pinnock is right now a lock for the New York Giants roster, considering the camp he's been having, last year's experience, and all that. And just to briefly describe Alex Cook, in my opinion, despite, besides the traits that I was giving out to you guys, I think he might actually convert to linebacker if he builds up on size. He's 196 right now in terms of weight. The fact that he's not a great pass defender, doesn't really make too many plays on the ball, pass deflections, interceptions, stuff like that, whatever. I think he's more fit as a linebacker, like one of those safety linebackers in the NFL. If you guys remember Dion Buchanan, I kind of see him as a Dion Buchanan, but he has to gain a substantial amount of weight. Like I know Micah McFadden's 241. There's some other linebackers in the 230s, late 220s range. He's at 196, so he's going to have to build up really, really strongly. But right now, he's just a box safety. And it's going to be an interesting competition because the New York Giants have some guys like that. They also have guys that could do more than just be a box safety. Bobby McCain, for example, he was playing with the 2s a little bit at safety and slot cornerback. So that shows you versatile again, and he could also play in the box. He's a good run defender. Javarius Owens, a little bit of safety, sometimes in coverage with the tight ends I've recognized. And Nick McLeod has gotten some reps at corner a little bit as we've gone on in training camp. They're rotating him between that and safety. And he's been playing with more of the second and third team. So maybe I'll make a video on Nick McLeod because it doesn't seem that he's a lock to make the roster. But anyway, In terms of how Alex Cook can win a spot on the roster, work on physicality as a safety. Try to improve as a pass defender. When you're in coverage, break up passes, stick in man coverage. Work on your technique. That's probably one of the best ways, because right now he is a one-dimensional player, and the New York Giants have other players, two-dimensional safeties that can fit onto the roster and do a little bit more than him, and all that sort of stuff. I think he also needs to have sound technique and IQ as a run defender. The Giants need guys that can stop the run. If he happens to be one of those guys that excels in the preseason, maybe a sack or two or a run stop or two, a couple of highlight plays, I think that's a way he could get on the roster. Also, special teams, as I mentioned in the traits. New York Giants need special teamers. He's made a couple of good tackles on special teams when you go back to the film. When he was with Washington, he made a run. I wouldn't say a run stop, but he made a stop on a fake punt. I forget who it was against, but it just shows you he's solid on special teams. Maybe he could block some punts too, but work on physicality as a safety, fill the gaps as a run defender, have sound technique and IQ as a run stuffer, improve as a pass defender, and special teams. How can he lose? Quiet in coverage situations, lack of presence on special teams, stays one-dimensional, struggles against the run. Quiet in coverage situations, that would probably be one of the worst for him, because once again, he is a one-dimensional player. And in coverage situations, if he's dominated by a tight end or a running back, that's not necessarily good. And once again, I just feel like the lack of playmaking could probably land on his bad side. Lack of presence on special teams. The Giants have a ton of guys competing for special teams roles. Tamon Fox, besides him competing for an edge role, Colin Johnson, Jaden Mickens, Khalil Pimpleton. There's multiple roles to fill on special teams, but the coverage units, I think, are the ones that need work other than the return units, which obviously I've discussed in the past with certain other players. Struggles against the run. The only way I could see him legitimately struggling against the run is if his tackling technique isn't 100%. And if he's at the line of scrimmage and he's being blocked up by wide receivers and tight ends, which obviously would not prove good for him, and stays one-dimensional. Once again, that goes back to coverage situations and being, very off the ball in terms of like not being a playmaker. So once again, how can he win? Work on physicality as run safety, fill the gaps, have sound technique and IQ as a run defender, improve as a pass defender, special teams. How can he lose? Quiet in coverage situations, lack of presence on special teams, stays one-dimensional, struggles against the run. I have him being cut. I think the Giants' safety room right now is crowded. A lot of different players that could do a lot of different things more than Alex Cook, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy makes it onto the practice squad, because I feel like this is a guy maybe the New York Giants would like to develop and see as, okay, this guy could be a special teamer for us in the future, or a rotational safety, or just a depth piece if anyone gets injured. But I think he does make the practice squad. We'll see what happens in the preseason, though, because obviously not all undrafted free agents go ahead and make the practice squad. Like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops your drops. Appreciate all guys coming back. More content coming out for you guys. Roster Bowl videos, training camp videos, all that sort of good stuff. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool.